Welcome back to the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. This is episode 10, and we only have 2 characters left to play in our current cast. So let's start with Cain. In the original game, Cain was pretty much the people's champion. He was the all-around best character. He had some pretty good damage, higher damage than Isaac, but lower than Judas or Azazel. He has lower range, but on the flip side, he's also a little bit faster. So all in all, he's pretty likable. And finally, he starts with the Lucky Foot. And that was a huge deal in the original game because if you had the Lucky Foot, you could not have negative pills. It will reroll all pills in order to be positive pills, but it doesn't do that into this game anymore, so as of now it just increases your luck and gives you better chance at slot machines. With that said, however, it's still pretty cool, but he's not the powerhouse that he used to be. Also, yeah, great first item. I'm sorry, but we're passing on that. I honestly don't feel like bothering with Bob's brain for this one playthrough. Also, one little detail with Cain, which is also pretty neat, but also slightly changes the way that he's played. He has an eye patch, and that means you will only cry tears from one eye. So, in overall, this will allow your shots to always be steady. So, are you kidding me? Only 1 coin and the donation machine broke. What a sham. So yeah, we're done with this one floor, so let's just skip to the boss right ahead. But yeah, Cain only shoots tears from one eye, so with some items that really reward precision or everything, or that will shoot a shitload of tears, like soy milk, Cain will be a very good character because it will allow pretty much all of your shots to be very predictable, and therefore you will be able to easily juggle with your foes, but other than that, most of the part it's pretty ignorable. But with that said, it's still pretty nice. And yeah, out of the 2 keys that you get out of latch keys, sometimes you can get golden keys, which is pretty pointless most of the time considering that, well, usually when you finish a floor you don't really need to go and open up everything, but it could be useful if, for instance, you had Guppy's tail and a shitload of golden chests spawn everywhere in the level and you wanted to go back in order to get all of them. So it does still have a purpose, but usually you'll better be served with just having normal keys. Okay, so this will be a pretty nasty room if it wasn't for the black champion fly, which is on the bottom left. We're just going to make it explode by pushing it against all the other flies, because yeah, they just explode every time that they die, leaving a bomb behind. Unless that you're playing it hard, in which case I think it's a 50% chance that it leaves a bomb behind, but it'll still explode though. So Cain doesn't have that much higher of a damage value, but with that said, it's still enough to kill the bigger flies which shoot projectiles at you with only 2 shots instead of 2. It's one of those slight differences that's always nice to see. And it also helps you gauge a little bit better the health of some enemies. Like for instance, the spiders will take 2 shots, but with pretty much every character, it will come really close to killing them with those 2 shots, and therefore if it just slightly lowered a little, then you will not be able to do that anymore. It's the kind of little details every once in a while. So, all of a sudden, let's see if the secret room could be... Okay, it cannot be adjacent to the treasure room because there's a block that is obstructing the path toward the secret room, so it cannot be there. The access to the secret room must always be all liberated and void of any obstacles on every room that it's connected to. And finally, the secret room cannot be connected to the boss room. So it cannot be between like the shop and the boss and the other room that is next to the treasure room. So yeah, Dingle doesn't move a whole lot, but when it decides to move, it definitely can be really threatening. With that said, the easiest way to just avoid his charging attack is whenever he starts pooping and lets a giant poop into the battlefield, you can just hide away from his charges just by hiding into them so that it will collide into them all of the time. Oh, alright, that's a good devil room. Not only we have 9 lives, but we're also gonna have brimstone. It's always a pleasure. So there's a room left, but at this point I have enough bombs and keys in order to carry on. And as Cain, you'll usually get more items anyway, so it's really not a big deal. So we might as well just carry on with the caves. Now see, this is why you bring brimstone, and even then these enemies still find ways in order to annoy me. I really wish that the walking hosts were not in the game, because god, these are god-awful enemies. Yeah, even without any damage boost, brimstone is still pretty damn powerful. That's why it's a special item. I mean, you wouldn't really want to have any more items that will horribly mangle enemies all over the place. And here's an item that is going to benefit our brimstone. We have the Common Cold, which gives you a chance to have poison in your shot, but with brimstone it happens really often, so all in all, hits extra damage all over the board. Yeah, our lasers are now green. It's not always going to poison enemies, but it'll always appear green. And yeah, Oreo Wizard just makes your shot go in diagonals all of the time, but it doesn't work with brimstone. Thank God. Yeah, after you unlock the Lucky Toe, I think these are one of the least valuable secret rooms, more so considering that sometimes you can get absolutely nothing from these rooms because it might have like 2 bomb drops, but then both of them will end up being troll bombs. So it's a pretty odd secret room to be in, almost worse than the one that has a single grey chest. Oh, Lucky Foot, how I miss your pill effects. But hey, at least I got the luck that I lost back, so it's a complete moot point. And yeah, I can see forever. Now we're probably going to be able to also find the super secret rooms. Most of the time it'll always be near the end of the level, but there's a few times every once in a while where it's not gonna be there, so it's definitely a crapshoot once again. Alright, and here we have a fortune-telling machine. This is where you see the power of the Lucky Foot, because holy shit, you reign supreme whenever it comes to the slot machine. And here's Champion Gertie. Normally, she will be a huge threat, but it's one of those rare times where it's gonna be a much easier fight, because we have Brimstone and therefore we can insta-kill every minion that she spawns. The gimmick with Champion Gertie is that she'll never directly attack you. She will only spawn minions, and I think she also have more health. But hey, with Brimstone, I attack her all of the time, and I kill every single one of her minions as they spawn. So, yep, goodbye, very challenging boss. Oh, shot speed up. I'm really grateful. Alright, so since I have absolutely no red art, Dark Bomb will be a guarantee. I could have also taken the other item, but all it does is make you fly, and it's not worth 3 soul hearts at this point. Yep, Curse of the Lost. No matter what map items you might have, you're not gonna figure out where you are. Yeah, that's one of the things whenever everything is terrible is finally toggled, you get a lot more curses, and while we're at it, we're also getting extra super sins as well. Yep, Super Envy, the motherfucker of every single bad thing ever. Yeah, instead of just splitting into 2 pieces, it splits into 3. Let's increase the fun. Good thing that we have Brimstone so that this fight only takes like 10 seconds instead of like 10 minutes. don't know why, but I always like the idea of enemies exploding just because that they're sick. I'd really want that to happen whenever I'd have any sort of illness whatsoever. Alright, spontaneous combustion! Oops, speaking of spontaneous combustion, that was not a good thing to have. The faster moving heads honestly are way less threatening than the one which are slow, because the slow one will constantly shoot at you, whereas the fast one will only shoot whenever they die, and they only have like this 4-way projectile, which is pretty easy to avoid for the most part. Also, Harlequin BB is always a good addition to every single loadout in this game, just because, for the most part, it'll always hit things whenever you least expect it, just because of the way that it shoots in slight diagonals, so you can attack things that you normally would not be able to hit. And if the monsters are big enough, then it's gonna be hit by both projectiles anyway, so yeah, we have another champion boss. Holy shit, we're having a playthrough of champions right now. If it wasn't for the poop boss, every single boss that we will have encountered would have been a champion, but unfortunately Dingle does not have a champion version, so that way we couldn't have a possibly perfect record. And honestly, I think this champion version of Chubb is easier, but there's more challenging champion versions of him out there. But essentially all he does is spawn a bunch of these growing poop piles that just shoot projectiles at you. Oh, okay. So I had Curse of the Maze going in, and whenever you go into doors, you have a chance to be teleported into a completely different room. And somehow I ended up in the secret room. Not sure how it worked, but hey, I'll take it. Okay, that was almost a worthless chest, but hey, at least I got my key investment back, and this is all that matters. Another slight changes between the two versions of the game. In the original version, those globins will be the enraged one that go like a million times faster. Not sure why they've been reverted to just the normal garden variety globin, but hey, at this point it just makes this boss, not this boss, but this challenge room easier to go through, and honestly I can't really complain about that. But that said, however, the leapers always continue being huge bastards. Yeah, they have way more health than the other garden variety jumpers of the place, and finally, their attack whenever they just start jumping in order to splash you with projectiles can be really hard to telegraph because you don't have a whole lot of time in order to deal with it. Also, not entirely sure why I'm not going into the curse room, but I don't know, give me a few seconds and eventually I'll figure out that I should go in there, considering that I'm not very liable to die at this point of the game. Oh, alright, we finally got some extra health. It's always good to have red heart containers in order to deal with the devil. Also, I'm totally keeping on my magician card because this is one of the best cards you can have whenever you have a brimstone weapon or anything handy, because it makes very interesting things happen to your laser. We'll see that whenever time will come. It's like Brimstone is already a way overpowered item in this game, but it makes it even better. Okay, so who knows why I'm not going to this curse room, and yeah. Also, moral of the story, don't just randomly shoot with your familiar while you're laying bombs in order to destroy skulls. Because that guy can just push the projectiles away from you. And yeah, I just use my world card right off the bat because at this point I want to keep my magician card. I'm probably gonna save it in order to deal with the boss rush. Oh, and here we go, we have 2 hearts now. Not that I need them, but hey, at least they'll be ready. But yeah, as you can see, the Curse of the Maze, the only thing that it does is just delay you and do absolutely nothing worthwhile for you. Most of the time it'll just teleport you backward through the level, and essentially it's just an annoyance. It doesn't make things any harder or anything, it's just more tedious. And the whole champion streak come to a stop. Right, you better be scared of my perfume war. My vomit perfume of death. Yeah, sometimes your brimstone laser can get very interesting. It's supposed to be a laser made out of your blood, but Right here, it's just a giant mess of perfume and everything. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be explained. So yeah, Brother Bobby is a complete waste of art, but Goathead isn't. Getting devil deals at every single level of the game is awesome and should always be considered. And if you get it outside of a devil room, then it can also mean unlimited angel rooms too, if you're into that sort of thing. Hopefully we'll have something like that happen at one point, so that we'll be able to showcase a little bit more the angel room item, because honestly they appear so very rarely, and the moment that you get a devil room and you accept the deal, then you're not gonna see angel room again anyway. So yeah, most of the time you're never gonna see angel rooms ever. And yeah, speaking of angel and devil, we're on the 2/3 of getting Guppy, so it's time to get really excited about this. It's been a while actually. When the LP started, I kept getting Guppy all of the time, but now he's starting to be a little bit more rare. I mean, we're starting to have more items in the pool, so that's mainly why it's happening, but yeah, I kinda miss Guppy. And the Guppy from last update does not count. Yeah, just in case you couldn't remember what the hands do, it's just like these Zelda enemies, the Wall Master or the Floor Master, whichever they were called. I think they were Wall Masters, but yeah, they take you back to the first room of the dungeon if they grab you. So, all in all, it's an overall bad deal. Because doing this also entails that you have to restart the entire room that you were at from the very beginning. Also, thank you Red Monstro for handing me a red spider. Yeah, this room had a shit ton of wasted space. What were they supposed to do with all of these frickin' boulders all over the place? I mean, if we had the digging equipment, we would have been able to see if there was anything worthwhile in there, but it's not gonna happen. Also, yeah, these wall crawling thingies that shoot brimstone lasers, when there's a couple of them on the screen, they murder the hell out of your frame rate. When I recorded this, it was like, it pretty much dropped almost in the single digits when it happened. And honestly, knowing the track record of this company when it comes to optimizing things, I don't really believe that in other versions of the game it will work too well. Yeah, fuck it. We're close to the blue map, so might as well just bomb the donation machine in order to get the required money. It's not gonna be a huge loss. I mean, I put a grand total of 1 coin into the machine for this one playthrough. And it bugged, hell yes! But at least we're getting lucky. And no, your eyes are not playing tricks. You probably don't remember seeing a pill that will make it so that our health will go down, but that's because when you have no red hearts or only 1 red heart, health down pills become health up pills. Oh, alright, so we don't even need our magician card anymore because we got the spoon bender, and this gives us a homing laser. Once that we get to the mom fight as well as the boss rush, things are going to become really fun. You'll see how great this is. Ah, not you jerk again. If only I knew that he was there, I wouldn't even have needed to bomb the donation machine. Oh, alright, time to ditch the Bible tract in order to get an item that is equally as worthless, but hey, at least it makes your lasers look really cool. Bible tract gives you a higher chance to get eternal hearts, but do I need extra health right now? I don't really believe so. But on the flip side, you always deserve to have a cool shooting laser. And it's especially better whenever it starts roaming all over the place. I'm really bad at getting this to happen, but every single time that it happens, it looks amazing. I was gonna say for a second, alright, more health to give to the devil, but no, Krampus is here instead. What a jerk. Oh well, at least we can possibly... Okay, I guess we're not gonna get anything, but I'm gonna give Krampus head a go just in order to get rid of 1 boss encounter in the boss rush, and oh my god, now I regret not taking Bob's brain alongside with me. I totally would have picked Sad Bomb here, but I'm still gonna pick it up anyway and still fuck up the deploying of it, because you need to wait like a slight fraction of a second before the game acknowledges that you have the items. But yeah, it would have been amazing once again if I brought the thing in. Yeah, sadly enough, whenever you have sad bombs and brimstone, it does not shoot lasers. It just shoots regular projectiles. But hey, it still would have been homing projectiles. So Bob's brain will still have been really amazing to that one circumstance. So last time I skipped the boss rush because honestly it was not gonna be too eventful, but yeah, we have homing lasers, so come on. Yeah, I mean, how can you get this to happen? It's like, homing lasers in this game are a marvelous thing. They have no rhyme or reason, but you love seeing them happen every single turn. And yeah, that's also why you need to kill the Carrion Queen quick, because yeah, there's a lot of red poop all over the place now. What a calamity. That means that we definitely lose some maneuvering space the more that the fight goes on, so you always need to kill it as fast as you can. If you can get it to get murdered really fast, then good on you, because the Carrion Queen once again does not fuck around. Fear her red poop. Honestly, I think in the challenge room or the boss rush, it's way easier if you get the champion version, because instead of spawning red poop, she just spawns the minions that shoot projectiles. And somebody in the thread did point out one interesting thing that I did not notice, and it's that killing the hearts also damaged the Carrion Queen. I honestly did not notice that at all until that I went back in order to check out the video. So, good catch. Honestly, as long as the enemies are pretty close to each other, you should be able to get your homing projectile to just hit every enemy all at once, or just set up some kind of an arc that will make it so that the projectile will curve and hit everyone all at once. And here's the toughest part of the boss rush. Honestly, I should have kept Krampus head for this one encounter, because honestly, I don't want to deal with those two huge sack of it points. Yeah, we're just gonna fasten up the process a little bit by just using our sad bombs that home toward them. So, yep, let's just murder the hell out of Gish. Yep. I don't really care about you anymore, that's why you're dying. So, let's go from the wave that has the most HP to the one that has the least. As well as probably this one. Honestly, I'm really surprised at how overly easy the other two rounds after Monstro 2 and Gish are, because yeah, it goes down like a dream. Oh, oh my god, Bloat, you are such an amazing peach. And to say that you're the boss in the game that everybody hates. So yeah, Bloat really gets a bad rap in this game, but honestly, I think his difficulty is a little overstated. Because hey, he can help you in the boss rush by insta-killing the Mask of Infamy just like he did. And finally, the key in order to survive his Brimstone attack is to stand up from him. If you stand up, you're safe from all of his attack because he cannot shoot Brimstone lasers upwards. Honestly, I think death is a much bigger problem than Bloat will ever be. So, yep, goodbye Mr. Death. And in such a big room, War is a complete joke. He's never gonna hit you with his bomb, and finally, he runs so slow and he's really not threatening in the slightest. So, yeah, all in all, I'm free to laugh at their face. And yeah, it definitely didn't take a whole lot of time. We don't have the highest damage, but we have Brimstone and it's all that matters. So we're rewarded with a mitter, as well then one of the most worthless unlocks of the entire game. Wait, what am I doing? Oh my god, it's been so long since I played that I honestly don't remember some of the decisions that I've made here. Why the hell am I bringing the fucking Brimstone laser head over Guppy's head? At this point, it's a complete mystery. Oh well, hopefully I'll figure out some use for it. Maybe I'll eventually make it worthwhile again? Nah, who am I kidding? And yeah, this is as powerful as homing lasers can ever get. Everything just dies without any kind of rhyme, reason, or mercy. Also, who knows why I didn't go for the secret room while I was into the other room, because it was way easier to bomb hold them. Alright, so we get this item. Honestly, not a very worthwhile find, but hey, it's still better than nothing. And we do get at least a black heart out of the deal. I mean, we already have full hearts, but if you get black hearts while you already have full soul hearts and everything, then it will replace your last soul heart with a black heart. So all in all, I'm usually pretty happy every time I see them. They're always useful no matter the situation. One of my favorite additions to the game in overall, apart from like the fact that this game runs okay now. Yeah, I don't even need to wait for the bomb to collect health, but hey, it probably wouldn't hurt to just go and collect the health anyway. Because you never know whenever you lose the health or whenever you'll have the quick need of a refill. Yeah, the homing in this game is pretty lenient, as you can tell. It can stretch up from like the middle of the screen to the upper portion of it. And yeah, that's one of the other version of Champion Chug. It's a whole lot faster. And in order to top it off, we have 2 champion monsters. Also, fun fact, I did a previous version of this video where I somehow called this enemy dead. I have absolutely no clue how or why it even comes close to resembling that, but yeah, that's part of the makings of a video, where sometimes even simple commentary can just go and get fucked up. So yeah, and overall, I like Cain, because for the most part, even though he's not as powerful as he used to be, usually when I play as him, I have good luck, and that's a very good thing to have in this game. You always gotta be lucky. Oh, okay, I can see forever. Well, I guess it's just going to save me a bomb, because blue map allows you to see the entire map, but I can see forever will also open up the secret doors for you, so if you have no bombs, then it will be a good find. Yeah, screw you, Giant Eye, I have a way better laser than you do. Oh, and here's another black heart. Hello, hello. So, in the likelihood that we will have had something in order to spawn hearts, then we will have been able to get red hearts here. Oh, alright. At this point, I'm wondering if I just took a damage on purpose, just in order to figure out that I was gonna get a health up from this one encounter with the beggar. Oh, alright, free items! We love free items, I do! Also, who knows why I use this item on this one room. I probably should have saved it for the boss, but at this point it's not as if the bosses are a huge problem anymore. Yep, here's Mama Gertie again. At this point we're just going to rub her a whole lot, because that's what we can do whenever you have Chario. So yeah, this boss can be threatening, because every single time that she spits a whole lot of goop all over the floor, it makes the floor really sticky and makes you a sitting duck for all of the bullets that travel over the place. All in all... Oh yes, all in all, I'm really happy about this turn of event. Here we have, long time no see, buddy. I really miss you. And at this point, I might as well just bring Guppy's paw, just in order to get rid of my red hearts. I'm just gonna stick with 2 for the time being. Alright, come on, get the paw already. You don't need any more brimstone laser head, because at this point we have laser fly heads. Because, yeah, Guppy combined with brimstone, it's a hell of a good power. Yeah, look at how fast we can spawn flies now that we have Guppy and brimstone. It'll happen every single time, no matter whether you want it or not. But why wouldn't you want this to happen? You have to be really wrong in order to think that this is a bad thing. And at this point we might as well get rid of our health, because we never know whenever we're going to get some more extra health in order to just spit out all over the place from any random encounter. Oh, I need only 1 heart. Oh, don't mind if I do. Yeah, even though we don't have a whole lot of damage, once again, this boss only dies in only 1 hit. At this point everything will die in 1 hit just because of my everlasting army of flies that will never go away. Glory to Demon Guppy. Oh god, that made it sound more like that I have a really bad throat ache, which I totally don't have right now, by the way, but yeah, and overall it's definitely a sight. Oh hey, I heard you were in the market for more Guppy items. Well, don't mind if you do. Yeah, at this point everything went well for us in terms of Guppy terms. And yeah, every once in a while Dark Bomb will also give you black hearts. Another reason why this guy is overpowered as all hell. Okay, with that said, however, I don't really need to have the paw anymore, because it's not as if I'm gonna gain that much extra health until the end of the game. And don't forget that I have sad bombs, so at least I can make it back on the purpose that I missed out totally on Bob's brain by having this item. So at least we'll be able to have some major fireworks going just by having it explode, because it's also affected by sad bombs. And yeah, we're still playing the shell game because there's an item locked behind it, but since I have extra chances at winning at this, yeah, I'm gonna get the Skettle all over again. Yeah, with that said, however, I'm not gonna be Lord of the Flies, because there's absolutely no chance that I will find some more fly team items. Also, yep, there was a troll bomb that dropped and I totally miss. Alright, it looks like our gambling here is over. If there was a way to refill flies on their own, at this point, if you were Guppy, you will pretty much get by the game without even pressing anything anymore. This is just utterly ridiculous. Oh hey, we've got a bunch of trinkets, and yeah, I'm not sure why we need another blood donation machine. I suppose we're going to donate blood if we keep getting soul hearts, because at this point, this is the kind of item that will leave us if we donate blood. But right now we have the monkey paw. Honestly, it's not a very useful trinket right now, considering that if you have half a red heart left, then it will spawn a black heart for you, but it'll only work up to 3 times. But look at me, am I gonna run out of health at this point? If anything, I have extra health to donate, and here we go. My business with the blood donation machine is done for the time being. We've unlocked the blood bag, and whenever we donate blood, we now have a chance to have it spawn from an exploding machine. Essentially, it gives you an extra heart, and it refills a whole lot of your health too whenever you get it to spawn, so all in all, it's a good pickup. In the original game, things were switched up in terms of blood donation machine. The blood bag was available from the get-go, and you had to work in order to unlock the IV bag, and yeah. Just look at how much health Mom's heart has lost just because of my army of fly. This is just ridiculous. Guppy is pretty much just supreme into the world of cats out there. And yeah, thanks to Goathead, we can continue on with our adventure. Welcome to hell, your reward is money. So yeah, that's the item that you get whenever you beat Mom's heart 8 times. At this point I think we only have 2 more unlocks left to get out of her before we move on to something else. And what is this something else? Well, we'll see pretty soon. Well, it's a completely different boss, and also the guarantee that we can go all the way back to Sheol or the Cathedral in every single playthrough from now on, instead of it being a complete gamble or being reliant on the items that you have. At this point, I don't even need the food. I'm just gonna skip forward in order to just carry on with the rest of the playthrough. Oh, I can see forever, even though I can already see forever. So yeah, Sheol really shouldn't take too much time, but with that said, I wonder why my laser was just juking out a little bit every once in a while. But yeah, just in the likelihood that things were not going fast enough, well, we also have sad bombs in order to speed up the process, even though we don't need it at all. We really don't need anything in terms of power right now. Honestly, if we were to grow any stronger, then the universe will explode on itself. And even then, it will be very easy for this to happen. I've seen that happen countless times, and hopefully we'll have some very overpowered builds in the future. At this point, what we have here is not overpowered, it's just really, really strong, but we're still not completely destroying the game at our knee or bend or anything. Right now, the only obstacle that I have is getting stuck all the way into hell. And at this point, yeah, I'm not even sure why I'm even taking the time to gamble with this beggar, because, yeah, you know what the result is. It's food. You always gamble with them whenever you get food, but sometimes you can get some other items. Like, for instance, the treasure map, the compass, or even the ladder, but it's a whole lot more rare. Most of the time, you will get food item out of this guy. Which is good if you depend on your soul heart. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Oh well, it's still only gonna take about 10 seconds, so if you'll excuse me, I'll be on my merry way, and I'm gonna have to close in order to get my flies to bite in on the offensive. At this point, my flies are just saying, not bite me, but I'll bite you. Yeah, at this point I've went through every single room except the correct one. It turned out that the solution in order to get out of Sheol was all the way up there, all along. Yeah, another fun fact. If you have Brimstone, then the doppelgangers cannot shoot back at you, so it's always a good bit. So yeah, let's start this fight with a bomb. Yep. Goodbye the Fallen, it was nice meeting you, but yeah, hopefully we'll be able to come back, and yeah, I totally farted in the face of Satan. Who could actually claim to tell that into their lifetime? I went into hell in order to fart on Satan's face. Yep, we're a very rich 8-year-old, or maybe we're doing that in order to install balance into the thing. And yeah, that was Cain. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, because I certainly enjoyed it. Oh, and what's this? The negative has appeared in the basement. Well, congratulations, we've completed one of the pictures, and that means we're gonna be able to get one of the proper endings of the game. But speaking of ending... yeah, all in all, this ending is a little bit underwhelming, but hey, at least we're finally rich! We got 25 cents! So, coming up next, Challenge 10. Cursed.